This is the Australian stock market closing report for Tuesday, the 31st of May 2016. With US equity and futures exchanges closed overnight in observation of the Memorial Day holiday, there were very few leads for the Australian stock market in today's trading. Only two of the ASX 200 sectors closed in the green, with the rest of the sectors all closing in the red. The ASX 200 benchmark closed lower by 29 points or 0.54% to 5,378. The day's trading range was 43 points, with the high of the session at 5,408 and the low of the session at 5,365. Market breadth was slightly negative, with 82 advancing stocks versus 97 declining stocks and 21 stocks unchanged. The weakest sector was the energy sector, closing lower by 1.45%. Woodside Petroleum led the components to the downside, closing down 2.4%. Oil Search closed down 1.3%, and Origin Energy closed lower by 1.2%. The consumer staples sector wasn't far behind, closing to the downside 1.43%, with Wesfarmers the weakest component, down 2.1%, Treasury Wine Estates was down 1.6%, and Woolworths was lower by 1.2%. The telecommunication services sector was down 1.19%, with Telstra Corporation down 1.41%, Spark New Zealand down 0.9%, and Vocus higher, closing to the upside 0.5%. The materials sector was relatively flat, closing down a negative 0.25%, with BHP Billiton down 16 cents or 0.83% to $19.08, and Rio Tinto was marginally lower, down 8 cents or 0.18% to $44.69. The big four banks weighed on the benchmark index, all closing in the red. ANZ was down 21 cents to $25.48. The Commonwealth Bank was down 75 cents to $77.43. National Australia Bank was down 10 cents to $27.15, and Westpac was lower 18 cents to $30.70. In economic news, the Australian Bureau of Statistics released 3 sets of economic data. The ABS indicated that the number of building approvals rose for the 5th consecutive month to 1.2% in April, and that the value of residential building rose 1.6%, while non-residential building was flat. New home construction approvals rose 3% in April, which exceeded market expectations of a 3% drop. In the 12 months to April, building approvals were up 0.7%. In another report, according to the ABS, the current account deficit for the March quarter decreased $1.8 billion to $20.8 billion. The exports of goods and services fell 1% or $578 million, and the imports of goods and services fell 4% or $3.4 billion. The surplus on goods and services rose $4.7 billion, which would add 1.1 percentage points in growth to the March quarter GDP. And lastly, the ABS indicated in its government finance statistics reports for the March quarter that general government spending rose 0.9% and public capital investment was up 0.7%, with government capital investment expanding and public corporations investment contracting. Government spending will add 0.2 percentage points to the March quarter GDP. The 5 most active stocks were Medibank Private with a volume of 70.17 million, Iluka Resources with 50.29 million, Horizon Holdings with 26.41 million, Illumina with 29.32 million, and Telstra Corporation with a volume of 25.47 million shares changing hands. The 5 best performers were Select Harvests, up 6.7%, APN News and Media higher by 4.55%, CYBG up 2.65%, Northern Star Resources higher by 2.6%, and Liquefied Natural Gas up 2.6%. The 5 worst performers were Flexi Group down 6.8%, National Storage Real Estate Investment Trust down 4%, ALS down 2.9%, Programmed Maintenance lower by 2.8%, and Monadelphous Group down 2.6%. The Australian dollar is currently higher at 72.30 US cents. The yield on the Australian 10-year government bond is down to 2.306%. Spot gold is flat at $1,212 US dollars, and crude oil is marginally higher by 7 cents to $49.40. This has been the Australian stock market closing report for Tuesday, the 31st of May 2016, and I've been your host, Aaron First. I'll see you again next time.